Bonjour à vous tous et bienvenue à ce 52e épisode de Danganronpa Trigger et Havoc. Mon nom est Raquel et j'espère que de votre côté, vous allez bien. Au courant du dernier épisode, notre personnage, en fait, on a fait le choix que Mukuro jette l'éponge. Donc, lorsque Kyoko a menti, on a décidé de ne pas de ne pas la provoquer et de dire en fait qu'elle avait la clé pour passer dans n'importe quelle porte de l'école. Alors à ce moment-là, on a comme été la victime puisque Kyoko avait un alibi solide. Donc tout s'est reviré sur nous et on a été pointé du doigt par tout le monde parce que Monokuma a décidé de finir le trial assez vite. Mais lorsqu'il a essayé de nous exécuter, surprise! Alter Ego s'en est mêlé et on a été sauvés. Yay! Mais ça change pas qu'on est tombé dans une dompe. Donc on est ramassé à côté de toutes les vidanges de l'école et par la plus grande surprise inimaginable possible, on a survécu la chute qui avait l'air assez imminente, assez importante. Hein? Donc après ça, on a vécu plusieurs jours, on ne sait pas encore combien de temps en bas, et Kyoko est venu nous aider à s'en sortir avec tout un discours de motivation, comme de quoi qu'elle va trouver le mastermind, et on va l'éliminer ensemble. Donc, sur ce, je ne vous retiens pas plus longtemps et je vous souhaite un bon visionnement. The Ultimate Despair. A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. Chapitre 6. But right now, we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. J'ai une drôle d'impression qu'on est au dernier chapitre du jeu. It's locked, but we have a way to open this door. Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
That's right. Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? Hey, Kyoko. We can use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. J'espère, parce que sinon on est dans la merde. Kyoko took out the key with the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. And then... Yes, it opened.
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go! Sound good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Voyons, la misère à dire ça. Mais niaiseux. Finally, we were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun. Chapitre 6, Ultimate Pain. Hey boy, Ultimate Pain, Ultimate Suffering, Ultimate Despair, Ultimate Execution, Ultimate Death. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into the darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down.
Hey.
Don't lose your footing. If you sleep, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'd be careful. Déjà là que c'est quasiment impossible qu'ils aient survécu ça comme descente, là. C'est fou. But now that you said that... Ben, elle non plus, d'ailleurs, je pense à ça. Elle aussi a droppé. I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it. So Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My families have always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So,
Right.
because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light or shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society, which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't see it's entirely rational. And go to do, guys. Okay, but it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains. Before I came here, when was before I came in here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her, because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However,
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Uh, in order to enter Speak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? What you wouldn't not gonna do. You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk about to my father about.
However,
There's something I want to say to him, though. What?
I.
No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it?
So.
I want to sever all ties with him. Tout ça pour ça? Tout ça juste pour couper tous les ponts? Stiller. The last time I saw him, I was still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented. He had a promising future.
However,
but he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument. And young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However.
But there's one thing that I can never forgive. Ready?
So.
The way everyone else look at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
However.
But when the rest of my family look at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me, even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
Correct.
That's why I had to find him and tell him we're no longer family, in order to settle the past, in order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, to just cut him out like that.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. And we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone familiar? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that, I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. Puis on continue de monter jusqu'à temps qu'il arrive en haut. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. À un moment donné, il n'y a plus rien à dire. Quand tout est dit, là. Look, looks like this is it.
Indeed.
Elle a répété ce qu'elle avait dit. On the other side of this door, Hope Speaks is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. And well, here goes nothing. Il arrive. Ah non, il y a quelqu'un d'autre qui l'a barré! I reached my right hand and pushed against the hatch. Et non, c'est pas arrivé. The hatch opened with ease, and so... Ok. On est finalement de retour. Looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long the ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in the Hope Speak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. Bon. So, now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course. But if the mastermind find out, and I'm worried about you too. You help me, so they might.
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then.
Then let's just get a concrete answer.
In other words.
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Just oh man, la réaction de Monokuma va être priceless. Wait, that's.
However.
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time until we're found out. And it's not like we can run away. Il y a tellement de caméras partout. De toute façon, il y a déjà une caméra ici en haut de nous, fait que ça se peut déjà qu'ils le sachent. As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. C'est de ça que je parlais. So you're saying, rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now. Don't worry. What you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean?
So...
The mastermind who stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuro's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was.
Right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it will be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiation. I'm still a little, no, super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going. Let's go, guys. On y va. Le gym. Je suis de quel bord? Ok, je suis de ce bord-là. Let's go. Mais ça n'a jamais été ouvert, cet escalier-là. On peut-tu? On peut-tu? Bon. On s'en allait dans le gym. Voilà. C'est parti. Le jeu trick les pourcentages. C'est juste parce que je suis le ultimate lucky student. C'est juste pour ça.
Well now.
Kyoko, I don't mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here? Personnellement, je rirais vraiment si c'est vraiment le cas moi aussi. C'est comme, t'arrives au dernier puis tu le pognes automatique. That's it. That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay? You were supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do?
Shing!
If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again, and this time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko,
Right.
do whatever you feel you have to. What?
However,
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
now.
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? Huh? I lose?
Hey!
You! Explain yourself! What do you mean by that?
Because
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
in other words,
I was supposed to be chosen as the blackened and then executed, right? Hey, what are you talking about?
however,
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The result of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting, because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
right.
And in response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. No, more than that, you must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However,
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you'd killed it.
am I wrong?
Now, here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mukuro, you did.
Listen to me.
So executing Makoto for it would certainly be a violation of your own rule. Which is, I know you love so much. If the Blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that mean I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the Blackened is me and not Makoto?
Well?
And you can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this? A comedy routine? To make such bold claims without a shred of evidence?
that doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth.
Pum, pum.
And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type?
Because
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire.
however,
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you ever execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased.
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey,
Of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair fair and square,
that's what we have
then
to
I
do.
suggest you take my advice. So, what is this advice of yours
It's true.
to do Mukuro's trial over again? Only this time, you follow the school regulation to ensure a fair trial.
It's
Time for one last showdown, one final battle.
Final battle between hope and despair. Hey,
Well, what will... Je mec est surpris par le fait qu'elle a parlé. Well, that will make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial, one last showdown. In other words, this would be our chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer, of the mastermind of themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed. Very?
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things a little. So, time for bear jokes. Now, what you suggested might be possible. It will certainly make for one honey to have a climax.
In other words,
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things your way, that will be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it will cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely contain myself!
Let's have one final grisly showdown. He agreed? Then we still have the shot at this?
Barrett!
But this is the long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end.
You guys!
So for this final face-up, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries? That's right, every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that,
I can barely
then that'll be
contain
enough to
myself.
qualify as the victory for you.
it's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good. Let's bury it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Mokuro's death and solve the mysteries of the school,
You guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all of that, we'll all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this has all turned out.
Hey,
But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. You remember the rule? When one student kills others, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that for sure. So what?
hey,
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And oh, damn it! Merci, mon ami Gelo. Merci. Je suis tellement pas habitué de l'enlever pour faire ce genre d'affaires-là que j'ai complètement oublié de la remettre. Ben oui, ça fait partie de la vie. And it's a true statement. You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations, and having a trial for Mokuro is no exception to that. Mokuro's trial is no exception. Then it's part of the regulations, which will have to mean that whoever killed Mokuro. It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students, and the only people to take a single step in Hope Speak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why did you go quiet all of a sudden?
Now I'm really angry!
I'm done talking! I've got nothing left to say to you. So get lost, would ya? Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey!
Leave me alone! Get out of here! Okay, I'm going. You're really gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. I need to start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto, let's go. Okay. Monokuma's unstable laughter, whatever, seemed to cling to us as he walked away. And just like that, we were out of the gym. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's depth. Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
However,
Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah, true.
whew,
But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal, but honestly, why would the mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
so
They had no choice but to accept.
because
It's all because of that one moment that the mastermind let down their guard, like I said. So when was it that the mastermind let their guard down?
so
It wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the mastermind said? They said that they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that.
listen.
And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However,
And yet somehow the mastermind was able to do it.
in other words,
But think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. A reason?
so
They had to show the world something, no matter the cost, us killing each other. They wanted to show the world.
it would
The
seem
mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody.
in other words.
So the mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why?
Correct.
To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point.
Hey,
The outside world has a name for the student of hope speak, right? A certain concept. You're talking about hope, right?
that's right.
And for those of us who represent hope to kill each other and sink to despair, the mastermind wants the world to see that and to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal, as the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's ridiculous.
It's true.
You're right, it is ridiculous. Completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair will devise. That group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto.
I know how angry it must make you, and yet, that same motivation is what led to the mastermind revealing their weakness. What?
In other
Because their
words,
goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world, the mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-side slaughter.
at the very
At least. That's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves.
Indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
right.
So instead, they tried to use the class trial, following all their proper rules to get me killed. They began a Je viens de cliquer quelque chose, moi. L'image qu'on vient de voir, c'est Junko qui serait fait percer par un paquet de lances au début. Dedans, quand on a examiné le corps la dernière fois, on a dit qu'il y avait l'air d'avoir les bottes de Junko sans que ce soit spécifié dans le jeu. Puis il a dit que le couteau a passé par en bas, ce qui est techniquement impossible. Ça se peut-tu qu'il ait utilisé le corps de Junko puis finalement il n'y a pas vraiment eu de meurtre? Wow! They began a trial that didn't have a right answer. Then made me out to be the killer. Sérieusement, si c'est ça, ça expliquerait pourquoi ils ont fait. Ben oui, c'est Makoto. Et oui, il n'y a même pas eu de meurtre. But even that didn't work.
It's true.
Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. He attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the mastermind had to accept your suggestion.
Indeed.
To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they had to defeat us in perfect form.
In other words,
It would only do the mastermind harm to have it shown that they violated their own regulation. But all of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge.
however,
Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance. Because you believe in me, another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the mastermind's thought and plans we were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet.
Whew.
But it looks like I got it right. This time, at least, I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh. I took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I showed my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
However,
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. And all we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this fight this time.
correct.
Or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. If we can defeat the mastermind, it will cost us our lives. There is no option except to win.
Hey,
But before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True, but now we know who our real enemy is. And all we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone?
however,
Is that really possible?
anyway,
Right now we have to go find the others.
shall we go?
They're probably in the dorms somewhere. Shall we go?
Je sais pas pour vous, là, mais moi, j'ai des petits frissons. J'ai tellement hâte de voir cette confrontation-là finale avec Monokuma, malgré le fait que Kyoko a joué un jeu un peu dangereux, un peu risqué avec cette proposition-là. S'il avait refusé, il aurait pu tout simplement éliminer Mokuro drette là. Mais il a décidé que non, il fallait le faire, et comme Kyoko nous a expliqué, c'était la solution logique à tout. Mais on ne sait pas dans un élan de panique qu'est-ce qu'il aurait pu faire. Donc, les idées sont jetées. Ça va être à nous de jouer au courant des prochains épisodes pour trouver tous les plans machiavéliques et les prouver au monde entier qu'est-ce que Monokuma et la personne qui est derrière a fait. Mais entre-temps, si vous voulez voir l'action en live, le lien de Twitch va être juste ici. Je vous souhaite une excellente fin de journée et une excellente fin de soirée, tout dépendant de ce qui s'applique à vous. N'oubliez pas que si jamais vous voulez le retrouver aussi, le lien Twitch est dans la description de cette vidéo. Donc, à la prochaine et prenez soin de vous. Bye bye.